What is up, folks and finessers? It is I, the Mexican Burt Reynolds, and today we are in the Pensacola, otherwise known as the Pepsi Cola. Now, this particular ship, I've heard a lot of smack talkery. I've heard it is not a good ship. I've heard it has no armor, which is accurate. But it has two other things. Now, a lot of my World of Tank folk will recognize the three things that I attribute to a good vessel or a tank: armor, mobility, and firepower. If you have a good amount of all three, you have the perfect ship and or tank. If you have, a strong 2 out of the 3, you have a, good at one thing. And the Pensacola has good 2 out of 3. It has good mobility and good firepower. Not so much armor. So, what we do here, folks, is we don't get shot. That is the plan. We use islands. We use mobility. Now, speaking of mobility, I would like to touch on a point here. A subscriber, just like one of you folks, I game with him from time to time, very good guy, Jarhead, many numbers. He said, "Hey boy, you really got to try out that engine knuckle," which is the, I am having problems remembering exactly what it's called. It's something 50% acceleration, so on and so forth. And this video, at the end of it, it perfectly describes what that is used for. And you will see the finessery firsthand, exactly what goes into it. So yeah, moving on. Let's get to the game here. Shooting AP at the side of this gentleman. Now, we're broadside here, and we're not too concerned about it. As long as we keep our head on a swivel, you will notice with the engine boost, whatever, I think it's engine module 2. I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to call it the engine knuckle. With the engine knuckle, you will notice we start and stop. Well, we don't necessarily stop with a quickness. We start with a quickness. And what that boils down to is, obviously, you can get out of the way of torps considerably better than versus just kind of sitting there for another 5 seconds. So that's, a big plus. But at range, it gets to the point where I have multiple 1 tier higher battleships shooting at me. Well, no, I think I have one of those, and I think I have a Flexico. I don't know. 2 battleships shooting at me, and it was just, at the end of this game, I am just straight clowning them. Because I would go forward, and then I would stop, and then I would go in reverse. And I would just keep doing that, and they would just, yeah. So anyway, I don't want to give it away, but it's pretty amazing. But not just that. The ship itself, I feel, is a solid performer. If you don't necessarily depend on your armor, like you would do a battleship, for example. Excuse me, coming through. You don't depend on your armor, and you just depend on that mobility and your firepower. It'll work out perfect. Another sub right there gave me the great idea to use Gunlock. I'm going to go ahead and plug him again. Badger, fantastic idea. I highly recommend everybody try preset 3. So, moving on, we're going to try to line the guns up here, see if we can pull any shots on this gentleman. It's quite far away. He's not exactly giving us the best angle. But you know what? If you throw enough crap against the wall, eventually some of it's going to stick. A quote from the Warrior Poet Giz. Moving on. Right now, as far as the game goes, we're still very much new in the game. Have yet to reach adolescence. As far as that goes, we've got 15k, Citadel hit, nothing necessarily fantastic, but as the game goes on, and guys, this is something that is easily transferable from, say, for example, World of Tanks, where the longer you stay in a match, the greater chance you have to do damage. And that's just period, all around the board. Now, granted, of course, you may not be able to do that, but kind of set it up to where, what I would start is play it safe. You know, play cautiously. I'm not saying, you know, don't shoot at anybody, but I'm just saying take cautious shots, take shots where, you know, there's no chance of, you know, the guy firing back at you, what have you. You know, that's what I would do. And once you do that, and you continue to do that, and you find yourself staying alive longer in these games each time, then you'll start to notice a byproduct of that is, you know, you're putting up more damage, you're putting up more citadels, more, you know, base defense, whatever, more of everything. And that is the key. Now, granted, of course, you know, we have to understand the basic mechanics in order to survive, you know, a decent amount of time, which I am, you know, under the assumption that the majority of folks out there understand said basic mechanics. But that's kind of the, you know, what I'm trying to get out there. I'm not trying to say you have to go out there and you have to hit a citadel every single time. I'm just saying you have to be alive long enough for those opportunities to present themselves. Because, you know, somebody turns at the last second, perfect shot, not so perfect shot, what have you. So you kind of need to turn that around and say, okay, well, the longer I'm alive, better off you know, more chances I'll have to get said citadels and just get out here and get this damage and affect the game, you know, in a larger scale than, you know, 5 clicks around the spawn, which is where, you know, a lot of the battleships buy it, within 5 clicks of the spawn. Anyway, I'm off on a tangent here. I'm talking about general overall type situation, and guys, if you want to hear more of the general overall how to maneuver, not necessarily how to maneuver, but how to have better games, let me know and I'll start making more videos of that versus, you know, gameplay per se. I mean, granted, it'll still be gameplay and I'll just be talking about something different, but I just, you know, I want to do whatever you guys, the subs, are looking for. So even if you have something totally different, hit me up with it. Comment below. Moving on. Okay, 66,000, 64,000, 60-something thousand. We've got citadel hits, we've got kills. We're in here, we're making it happen. We're putting them in submission. Long-range shot right here. It's looking pretty decent. We didn't do much of anything. We've got rounds incoming. We're taking rounds from the other side. We're going to go ahead and throw the rudder over there. Not much happening there. You know, if we'd kind of stayed where we were at, it'd have been a kill shot easily because that was our side. And folks, what you want to do is, if somebody is firing at you, and pretty much in any situation, I mean, granted, it's a little different if you're in a battleship. If a battleship, you can kind of angle up, bounce some of the rounds. But if you're in a lightly armored ship, destroyer, what have you, Pensacola, when they're firing at you, you want to be either going directly towards them or directly away from them. That way you're going to minimize your profile and they're not going to get a lot of rounds on target. It's not the best, but it is far from the worst. You know, granted, if you're in a situation where, you know, you're going to have to deal with that. Now, granted, of course, a lot of these particular ships have, you know, super firing guns fore and aft. For example, the Pensacola. In that case, either you're leading or you're going away from a target. You can, you know, run those two guns. But in this case, kind of what we're doing is we're swinging around in order to get the front guns on target. We're firing, and then we're pulling back. This is exactly what you should do in a battleship, except faster. Because we're a cruiser, we have higher rudder shift speed, what have you. I had no idea I was this close to the border edge. As soon as I hit it, I said, well, I'm dead. Because, you know, the finessery, as it were, is over. But, that being said, the finessery is technically far from over. 70,000 damage. You know, we're out here making it happen. You know, we're still firing. We're trying to get off of this flipping wall. Please, please get me off of this wall. And it's a bug, and Wargaming is aware of it. Now, if you just saw where I was just at there on the left, rounds hit where I was no more than 3 to 4 seconds. If I did not have that module, I would have taken some shots. It might not have killed me, but then again, it may have. Now, if you watch the speedometer there, if you will, the heading, not necessarily heading indicator, but the all ahead full indicator. I stopped, and now I'm going all ahead full. And the shots are missing me. And granted, of course, it might have just been him missing. I don't know. But we're doing this, and we're taking just a little bit of fire, but we're not taking as much as we would normally. Once again, we're going all ahead full. We're going to wait until the rounds leave the gun barrels, and then we're going to stop. See right there. Because what we're doing, guys, is we're trying to time his reload. And now he's firing ahead of me like he should if I was going that fast. Now we're speeding up again. This is the cadence of the finessery, folks. That's exactly what this is. The cadence of the finessery. We're 92,000 damage. We're running AP. We're full stop now. We're waiting on this guy to shoot. We've got him DPM'd. You know, we're gonna put rounds into him left, right, and center. Just non-stop. We're backing out of the guns there to kind of get a quick look around. You know, we want to see what's going on. We want to make sure nobody's creeping up on us. As you can see there, we got rocked a little bit. We didn't take much, but we took some. We're up to 102K. We're going full right now. We're going all ahead full. And we've got multiple targets firing in on us. This is not a good look for us, but you know what? It's fine. We've been in stickier situations than this. We're going to go ahead and full stop here while this gentleman's targeting us. And now we're going to go ahead and go all ahead full. And this is kind of... He was expecting us to do that, so we kind of started out like we're doing that. And then it's just totally random. I mean, that is the definition of my finessery. Totally random. So right there, I would have been killed if I'd pulled forward. And that's it, folks. You get this engine module. I think it's called engine module 2. And when they're at range, and you just play with the throttle, forward, backward, stop, what have you, totally random, they're not going to be able to connect with you. Or if they do connect, it'll be a glancing blow versus a solid hit, which is what we want. Moving on, 112,000 here. As you can see, we're going in reverse. We threw down, we stopped the engines. We're going to hit reverse here, and we're going to go ahead and just full-on finesse this guy. Now we're going to go ahead and take off. He doesn't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do next. Nobody has any idea. This guy's going backwards. We're going to go ahead and put some rounds on him. See if we possibly can't get a decent citadel. You know, we've got some citadels this game. We're not exactly setting the world on fire, but you know what? We have 112,000 damage. I'll take it. It's not exactly the best thing in the world, but it is better than not having 112,000 damage. Okay, so we're going to continue to lay rounds on this gentleman. He cannot keep up with our DPM. He's not even targeting us anymore. And that's the thing, guys. When I say most of the time your bad guys will target the nearest enemy, I am not wrong. He is shooting at someone who is easier to hit and slower and just, you know, more bang for the buck. So when he gets done with his 30-second reload, 25-second reload, and he fires at somebody, it will be worthwhile, not, oh, one round hit, or, you know, no rounds hit, or I wasn't even close. If you catch my drift. And see, he's still shooting at this guy. And what you need to do, folks, is you need to go out here like this and make yourself an unappealing target. And that is exactly what we're doing. We have ran rampant over this area so long that these guys are... I mean, because really, if you look at it, he could bow tank the guy as he's engaging and turn his guns towards us easily. And he wouldn't suffer hardly any damage from the other guy. And he's not really getting very much damage from us either. But that's the thing. We are an unappealing target. Because he knows he shot at us enough, it would be a waste of time. Because when we started this finessery, we didn't have very much health. And you know what? We still don't have very much health. All this shooting and whatnot has done little to no damage on us. Now, granted, of course, we are the last ship on the board. It is not going to be a good look for us, and that is fine. We have 133,000 damage thus far. We have finessed everybody on the map. We are out here. We are making it happen. This is most likely my death. I can't remember for sure, but you know what? It's got to come sometime. And no. Yeah, he got me with the last round. I totally forgot. But, you know, and then the game ends. But, yeah, that's an amazing game. You have to make yourself an unappealing target. And that's what it boils down to. If you make yourself so hard to shoot that he'll pick another target, you've won. 135,000 damage, 857. So many citadels, so many kills, making it happen, doing things, out here balling. 286,000 to that, whatever, silver. We have loads of silver. Guys, hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, hit that notification button. New uploads Monday through Friday, 11 p.m. Eastern. Streaming Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern. If you guys have any requests, whatever, you want to get your video on the channel, hit me up, let me know. Put something in my ear. Hope you guys enjoy. We'll see you next time.